you have the moon in Pisces, this video is for you. Moon in Pisces individuals are usually very creative and very dreamy. With Pisces carrying that Neptune influence, they can easily indulge in fantasies and other realities. They have powerful imagination and vast abilities to tap into many different things. This can also lead Moon in Pisces to escapism at times, and not necessarily wanting to handle reality and their emotions properly. Moon in Pisces can be like a sponge as well, so they're absorbing everything in their environment, including other people's feelings and internal issues going on. And they're naturally really sensitive and empathetic, so they can sometimes want to give selflessly to others, even if they don't know them. They also need to be careful about who they choose to spend time around because of this sensitivity to the world. At times, if things are too heavy for them, they can easily disappear without a trace. And Moon in Pisces can be really great artists, especially. We see a lot of musicians with this placement, a lot of artists, a lot of sensitive creators, and music can be so powerful and soothing for a Pisces moon, especially, as well. Spending time near water and the ocean, and they're going to feel really naturally comfortable around these types of environments. And Moon in Pisces can also make a lot of contacts with women and feminine energy, have a variety of crushes attracted to them. And sometimes people don't really see them clearly, though, with this Neptunian influence, and they may be attracted to a fantasy or an assumption about the person, and vice versa, people doing the same thing to them. And Moon in Pisces can get a little foggy about their own internal process from time to time as well, confusing their own emotions and feelings. It can be easy for them to feel overwhelmed by the world and all its problems. They're extremely sensitive. Even if they try to hide it, you can feel it. And Moon in Pisces can be so compassionate that they feel like they can't be happy if the world isn't happy. It can be easy for them to try and slip into savior or hero mode, but they need to take care of themselves first, before trying to help other people. And sometimes that's the lesson itself, is that we can't always help others in the way that we think. We have to let others do their own work for them. And I think energetic boundaries are very important for this placement, and they may have some struggle with these issues, mainly when they're younger, but it just depends as well, like, on your own experience. But I see a lot of Pisces moons kind of struggle with this from time to time. And Moon in Pisces can also have these really big, dreamy, like moony type of eyes, very like rounded, kind of glossy or sleepy as well. So beautiful though. And sometimes they can even look high, or they can look like they're on something, or like they've taken something, even when they're not. With that Neptunian influence, they might kind of look like they're under the influence, but sometimes they're not. That's just how they look, And Moon in Pisces can enjoy going out, partying, experimenting with drugs, any mind-altering substances as well. They might be attracted to these, drinking. Sometimes they can go too far with this though and get lost in the sauce, and that's where the escapism comes in sometimes, is if they don't want to handle or deal with something. Sometimes some Pisces moon individuals will go to drugs or alcohol to kind of deal with that and escape whatever is going on, and it transports them to another world. And sometimes they can kind of get stuck there, instead of being grounded and facing certain things and emotions in their life. So you just have to be careful with that, with the Moon in Pisces, because they're extremely sensitive again. So they're also really, really perceptive and intuitive. They're going to be picking up on a lot of psychic activity, whether they're aware of it or not. And this can also be heightened if they are nurturing their spirit. They can actually expand and strengthen their psychic abilities and gifts, and which will create some really powerful healers if they're using that in the right way. And Moon in Pisces can really speak through music quite frequently. They may also feel deeper connections to sea creatures and animals in general. They can connect with other worlds here, other beings, but as always, working with these things, a certain level of protection is still needed for such a sensitive moon sign and water placement. So they are also great at creating their own worlds and sharing it with those that they trust. Following their dreams, following their heart is going to serve them well. Honoring that sensitivity within them and the world that we live in is going to serve them well, rather than repressing those things. And I also find that Pisces moons can be very powerful healers, helping their community, inspiring and encouraging others with an open heart space. They really do care deeply about spirituality and the soul. And in some ways, Pisces moon can be having the experience of a mother figure that was also sensitive, but possibly illusionary in some aspects. They can be very compassionate towards their mother and have a close bond as well as an intuitive bond with their mother. They could have also had a creative and expressive mother figure in their life. Sometimes the mother figure may have expressed or pushed their spiritual beliefs onto them. They can be deeply influenced by their mother's energy and have their own communication affected greatly, for better or for worse, depending on your situation, you know. And so in some cases, they could even feel overly responsible for their mother or other family members. And it's important for them to remember that we have to let others learn, you know, and do their own work too. There's only so much that we can do, and we can't always step in and save somebody. And I think sometimes Pisces and Moon might struggle with this because they are so empathetic and sensitive. They do want to give, but it's like you have to be careful with that and knowing your own boundaries and your own limits so that you are not draining yourself and what you need as well. So it's a tricky one with the water moons. Yeah, and in some cases as well, they need to learn not to martyr themselves, not to self-sacrifice so much, just because they're trying to, you know, make somebody else happy, and they're just disregarding their own feelings and life situation and all of that. So yeah, boundaries, energetic boundaries is going to be really important for this placement. And with the Neptune influence here with Pisces moon, sometimes they can start off having no boundaries, especially emotionally, which can be dangerous, especially for this placement, because it's so easy for Pisces moon to absorb everything in their environment. And oftentimes they might not even be fully aware, conscious that that is what's happening to them. They can easily be disturbed and kind of come off moody if they're not around the right people and the right environment. So if they're around a lot of negativity and they're absorbing that, that's going to affect them greatly. And then they might take that energy and then react on somebody else. So you just got to be careful there. That's actually why they may need periods of isolation, so they can process and work through their feelings and emotions. Especially if it becomes overwhelming for them. At times they may feel deep sadness, and periods of deep sadness. It's important for them to not let themselves get stuck in a victim mentality, to not get stuck in that lack mentality and only focus on the negative and the bad or the horrible things and sad things, you know. They also need that dose of positivity and to focus on that as well, and bring that into their life to balance it out, because if not, that can easily drain them and they can easily go down a hole and kind of be stuck there, and then be like, get stuck in these certain stories and narratives, right? So it's really important for Pisces moon especially to be careful about what kind of stories they're telling themselves about their life and their own self, and make sure they're validating their own emotions and experience as well. And they can be quite open until they're hurt really badly, and this may actually cause some of them to close off and be distant to deal with their pain. The thing is, they may not even let it be known how they really feel or what they're actually going through. They can struggle communicating and being assertive at times as well. And sometimes masculine energy, I've noticed, especially with this placement, can struggle at expressing their true feelings and being emotionally vulnerable with others. Sometimes they may actually try to repress it and appear tough, but when they're alone, it's definitely going to come out. But that's also a symptom of society, right? That we kind of have pressured on masculine energy about what it means to, you know, be a man and all these things, and not allowing other men or masculine energy to express their emotions in a safe space. So I do notice that sometimes with the masculine energy, with this placement, they can kind of struggle with that emotionality and vulnerability. But we can also help create those spaces to help them, you know, be able to talk about things and feel safe and express, and without judgment, you know, because at the end of the day, we're all human and we all experience a multitude of things, and suppressing our emotions and our feelings is only going to do more harm than good. So Pisces moon really needs to kind of stay away from that kind of way of thinking, because it's only going to hurt them more, honestly. Yeah, so as well, Pisces moon can sometimes attract others who are not really so forthright with their emotions and feelings either. And sometimes they can also be deceived and disillusioned by something that only appears to look nice and beautiful, but they're not like taking the time to really get to know like what else is going on under there, you know. Again, with the Neptunian influence, you can kind of also attract these kinds of scenarios and people sometimes who are not going to be very emotionally clear with you. So it's something to be mindful about. And then especially if you're not also being emotionally clear, if you also have this placement. And Pisces moon can also be very romantic, and they wanting to sweep you off your feet and feel like you're floating on clouds with them in a whole nother universe. They can really love a lot and very deeply. And I also find that Pisces moon's natives enjoy film and can easily immerse themselves in other worlds. They have this gift of capturing and expressing in a deeply sensitive manner, and expressing their feelings in a way sometimes without words, but like visually as well, especially. But in all types of ways, but especially that I've noticed. And Pisces moons can sometimes enjoy teasing as well, as a part of like their sense of humor. Being a mutable sign, they can easily embrace change and be the type to just go with the flow, you know. And also with that Neptunian influence, you know, like, oh, let's just chill, just go with the flow, see what happens kind of thing, you know. And that can work for them, or it can get them into trouble at times, you know. It just depends on the situation and what's going on. And I love Pisces moon. A lot of people close to me are Pisces moon, and they're just great. It's just a very beautiful, beautiful placement. So sensitive, so sweet, so caring, you know, so perceptive and intuitive, and powerful, powerful healers if they allow themselves to, you know, tap into that energy and work with their spirit. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I will be back again soon. Thank you for listening and taking the time to be here with me today. I'm very grateful. Thank you. And if anyone is interested in astrology readings, I am currently open. I do have a link in my bio where you can reach me for that. So yeah, thank you. I hope that you have a lovely day or night, wherever you may be, and I shall see you soon again. Thank you.